All right, we're gonna listen. This is gonna be my live reaction. See that? I hung that thing, rehung it last night. My live reaction video to the master that John sent me, John McLagan of Parachute Mastering. Little Easter egg, he used to be one of my university professors. I don't know if he ever actually taught me, but he runs a mastering studio here in St. John now. And I sent the Christmas song to him, not the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, etc. Here we go. Let's listen. Maybe I'll sit in front of the speakers like this. I mean, it sounds good to me. Like, what I don't love is the way the vocal sits sometimes with the lines where the rhythmic emphasis isn't on the downbeat. So much fun right now.
We're doomed. This will be the worst Christmas play ever.
Hey there. Is this exciting? Oh, that's John. He mastered the track. I'm just logging in to accept the transfer of my finished mastered recording. I have to agree to some terms of service and privacy policy for WeTransfer. Like, why? Why? My files are ready. There we go. We got it. 44K 24-bit audio, 48K 24-bit audio. Whoa. And an MP3. Not bad, dude. So we're going to put it on Bandcamp. That's step one. We're also going to send it to the CBC library, and we're going to upload it to a distributor. I use DistroKid. This is not an ad. They're fine. I thought about making this a charity single. I think I talked about this last year, but like I'm pretty sure I made $0 from having this on Bandcamp last year. Somebody asked me today, is Bandcamp relevant? Because this is what my wife says, like, normal people don't use Bandcamp. Musicians do, and like the super fans who have Bandcamp fan accounts do, because they want to directly support artists. They want to be able to pay you $7 for your album, even though they could just stream it for free, or, you know, the low price. So it feels somewhat facetious for me to say all proceeds will be donated. Like, that feels more like a PR opportunity for me than an actual fundraiser for anyone. But I like the idea. I do. My timer just scrolled past 4:20. Nice. All right, it's back. That feels good. We're just saying hi, yeah. He's not here. He is here.
Did not know how to fly, then struck inspiration.
I swear I've been good this year. The only thing I want is an Owen Steele record. Can you make that happen? So I got the song. Now what do I do with it? Well, first of all, I asked two different AIs to describe it. ChatGPT thought this. Claude had like a darker take on it, but I would say they are both right. Anyway, I've been going down this ChatGPT rabbit hole and looking for recommendations on how to promote it. It's kind of wild that it is helping me with my pitch, because I got to the CBC. Here I am. Hi, can you see me? Hi. My to-do list today was send this to CBC. That's who may actually play this thing. I can't see myself, so hopefully I'm in the frame. There's this, how can I submit my music to CBC for broadcast? But where I'm stuck is I need a new bio and a new pitch, and I hate writing this stuff. Every musician does. But I need it, and I need it to look good before I bother sending it. Hi there, I got the phone on my radio console here. I am on my way to teach piano lessons. It's Monday afternoon. It's just about 3 o'clock. It's coming up to 3 o'clock, which is when my lessons start. Hey, there's a Cybertruck. Is it the same Cybertruck that I keep seeing around St. John, or is there more than one? Hard to know. Regardless, I guess we're just going to let this roll and I'll edit it later. Don't love doing that. It's time consuming. I asked the AIs for advice today. I got a whole bunch of recommendations. One on how to structure this YouTube series and how to structure my time so I keep on top of it, because what it always ends up happening, my big lesson from last week is the title of an earlier video. It's Start Before You're Ready. I often have ended up, and this is why I stopped doing the podcast, it's such a push to the end of the week to release this thing that when Monday rolls around, my kids are back in daycare, I kind of feel like I deserve a break, don't I? But you kind of can't take one. So that needs to be built into every day. But also, it is crunch time for promoting this Christmas song. Like, it's too late, really. I should have been sending out press releases in November, but in November I was working on that other song and that other project. And to be honest with you, until it snowed 1 week ago, not quite 1 week ago, I kind of was like, who wants Christmas music now? But it's full on winter here in St. John all of a sudden. So now it's go time, and I basically have 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to get people to listen to this thing. The season for public consumption, by the time it goes live on the streaming sites, it is going to be 2 weeks. I know they're not websites. Most people are using an app, the streaming apps, the streaming platforms, DSPs in industry speak. Anyway, you can feel like you're doing nothing. Like my number one thing for today was pitch it to CBC, and then I got stuck at the point of a bio, and then I'm like, well, I need to write my pitch first. And I uploaded it to Earshot Distro, which is the national campus radio distributor, which didn't seem to require a pitch. And I think, like, once you've got the pitch written, you can send it everywhere. But that should have been my first step. But because I couldn't identify it as the first step, you kind of end up nowhere. Ooh, and my car, the other car, the Honda Civic, just got looked at for what they call it a pre-MVI, because I knew it wasn't going to pass the inspection. And from the sounds of it, it needs a lot of work, which is not what you want to hear at this time of year. It's a reality. So it's one of those things that can make you question the career path, you know? Like, well, if I had a normal job where I made normal adult money, maybe that wouldn't be such a blow. But doing what I do, something like that, is it's a problem. I got sick. I don't know what happened. I threw up last night. I did not film it, but I threw up 3 times in rapid succession. Didn't have much of an appetite. Came on pretty suddenly. I don't know if it's food poisoning or something I caught. I wonder if I ate some expired soup yesterday, maybe. Some expired lentil soup. It's good. Anyway, today, I dropped the kids off at daycare. I came home. And it's like, I was just going to lie down for a minute. And I woke up and it was 2:43 p.m. My one thing I was going to do today
is make an ad basically for the new song to go on the socials.
Why do I even bother? When I pull out my phone, look at something funny. It's always full of people trying to get my money.
I see something in you. And he goes, and then we played him songs, like some songs I had at the time, and That's Ride was one of them, because I did it in 97. Yeah. And he goes, I don't care whatever you put out, save the song for me.
I had this little brainstorm as I'm out strolling, which is recommended in The Artist's Way. If you've never read it, get out of the workspace. Do something different with your brain. Disengage that part of your brain that is doing, so the other part of your brain can just roam. You know what I need to be doing to promote? I need to be doing interviews. I need to be in a place where I can just kind of improvise, talk to people, be in the moment. That's how I'm going to represent myself and this project well in the world. But I'm not necessarily the person to be lining them up. That's my weak spot. And I think it's the same with a lot of things. Same with booking shows. It's the endless hours in front of the computer. And that's what I end up wanting to avoid while I'm out here. And that ends up being the thing that ultimately holds me back, is that I don't want to do that part, the grind. I got into music because I like to make music, not because I like to send emails, or execute a social media strategy. Right, there you are. Hello. But I think if I was, out talking to people, I could do that, and I think it would work well. So
I encourage referencing back to the electrical piece of it, that if you're going to be using extension cords, especially if they're seasonal.
all right, buddies, it's Friday, noontime, cut off for this week's video. How'd we do this week? I'm going to do a recap. I got a bunch of AI advice from the internet, and it suggested a format, and this is one of the things, so we're going to try it. Well, response to all of my actual efforts has been positive. This has been really nice. Sometimes I can't get out of my own way with the promo, but people have responded to everything I've put out there really nicely. I've had people tell me they like the song, friends who've engaged with my online stuff, which is way more fun and rewarding than numbers and followers anyway. So that was really cool. I appreciated that. That felt good. The song is out everywhere now on the streaming services. Could I have launched it sooner or done a better job? Yeah, but we did it. And it sounds great. I think that's the most important thing. Because something like this, the season is going to be over in 2 weeks. But it can pop up every year, and hopefully you don't get sick of it because you haven't listened to it all year. Unless you are my 4-year-old daughter and the album in question is Charlie Brown Christmas Picture Disc, in which case you are going to be listening to it all year. I got over the hurdle and I wrote myself a pitch that I was struggling with, and I sent it to what I think is the most important outlet for what I'm doing right now in terms of what is going to give me the most bang for my exposure, profile, distribution buck. I think that CBC Radio is it. The monoculture has largely gone away, but I think the CBC Radio network particularly still reaches a big audience. I also sent it to Campus Radio. We'll see what happens there, but it's got national distribution, so it's out there too. Last night on a whim, I emailed a musician, a songwriter, who wrote one of my all-time favorite songs, and he put his email address on their Spotify, so I reached out. And he wrote me back this morning. That was interesting. We'll talk about that next time. It was cool. And a CBC host requested access to my folder. So I uploaded this pitch to the CBC Music Library with the song or whatever. And it's a central place. And then they send it out to the shows. The host of one of the local shows requested access to my folder. So while that means I probably did something wrong in the sharing settings, the interest is very encouraging, and hopefully that's not too much of a turnoff. But I think, everybody struggles with this stuff, I think. Do you? What's your secret? Oh, and I got a ton of AI advice. I was just asking it, and it spit out this entire, like, here's a story arc for this show, and like, here's how to format your episodes. Here's how to format the filming. Because this is like, it ends up taking up a lot of time, or else it sucks. Sometimes I put these things out and the audio levels are weird, and that's just because I didn't have enough review time because I was scrambling to get it edited just to have something to put out on Sunday. So hopefully that's going to help. This, what I'm doing right now, is part of that. But it's, you know, it's like I have 100 pages worth of stuff to go through now. We'll talk about that next week. What could I have done better? Well, I could have done a better job of being on top of this release in the first place, had more of a list of places to push it out to, more of a just a pitch, like figured out what my pitch was, figured out who I'm targeting, have a social media campaign ready to go. But you know, done is better than perfect. If I had waited, if I had used one of those like 25 things to do before releasing your song, you know, don't release your song until you've done these 25 things. If I had one of those kind of documents, I wouldn't have released the song because I wouldn't have the 25 things done. I put out one ad on Instagram. I put out the song on the streaming services. I sent it to one media outlet. All of them have met with a positive response. So that is really encouraging, and that to me is more important than getting big numbers out of the gate, because as we saw in the Spotify video, you don't know what's going on with the people behind those numbers. They might just be here for a minute because you happen to be on in the background. You never see them again. I would much rather be hanging out with my friends. When I was asking the AI for advice, I actually got a ton of what I think is valuable info, including how to structure this series, which may make life easier for all of us. We'll see. I got to go through it. It's like that thing can spit out 100 pages in 10 minutes. It'll take me much longer than that to read it and integrate those lessons, if that's even what I should be doing. But what I have found really interesting about it is that it's good at all the things that I'm terrible at, like taking a big picture, summarizing it, making it into bite-sized chunks, making a structure that I can stick to. It really is about like being in the space, doing the thing for me. The part that's about planning and sitting behind a computer means to an end, and I'm not good at it, and I don't like it. So I know there's a lot of concern about AI, and especially as relates to music. Is AI music going to take over the world? In this case, my thought is like, well, why would I get it to do the thing I actually like? The part that I'm good at and I enjoy. I'm going to save that part for me, and I'm going to get AI to do the things that I'm terrible at and I hate. And we'll see how its suggestions are, but I was pretty impressed, and hopefully this makes life easier, which is the idea. Not unlike having the virtual personal assistant as recommended by Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek. I read that book. I don't know if I got anything out of it. You get some knowledge, but I'm not sure that I can identify a single impact it's had on my working life. Maybe the information diet, only respond to emails at certain times. Maybe that. All right, what else we got? What's coming up? We got to keep pushing the single. We got to promote it. We got to send it to the people. Do we do ads? Do we do Instagram ads? Maybe we do. I got to recut the video. The song is 2 minutes. The video is 5 minutes. That's too long. I have all these scenes from a public domain, low budget Canadian sci-fi movie from the 70s or 80s I got on the Internet Archive. But I used too much of the footage just because I liked it and I thought it was cool. Same thing that happens here. What is the song even about? Well, I'll have to tell you next time. Bye for now.
I don't think there's a bathroom here, so we'll probably have to go home.